Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and another card making video. Today I am showing off the Spellbinders large die of the month for December 2020. It's called A Look Behind the Curtain. You can see the set here on the screen. It's a 7-piece die set and it has dies that create a curtain that slides open and shut. So you'll need 2 of these die cut pieces for the curtain, and just look at the detail on these pieces. Now you can just die cut these, but if you want more detail, you're going to run them through the die machine a second time with an embossing mat, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So these 2 end pieces go with this middle swag piece. I'm going to die cut this and show you it before I've run it through with detail, and then we're going to stick it back in the die. I like to tape it in place. Then you're going to lay it directly on your platform, and then you're going to put down the die face up and the paper on top of that. You add your tan mat and your embossing plate, and you get this really deeply etched pattern into it, some great texture. So now you're going to glue these 3 pieces together, and when you glue these together, you don't have just like a regular household curtain anymore, but you have a curtain that more looks like something that would be on the stage or in a theater, and I think it's really super cool to have that element that you can change it up. All right, now this is your mechanism piece and your curtain rods all in one die. I die cut that twice so I could have cardstock and silver pieces, and this die is the piece that creates the mechanism or the track. You want to put this flush with the top of your cardstock and make sure that you have like the little holes for the die are down. That's the way I did it anyway. I'm sure you could play with it to make different kinds of interactive cards. Now, when you put the mechanism pieces into the track, you want to make sure that the longest piece is towards you and facing out. You'll need one on each end to make the curtain kind sliding card. And again, you could use this for any kind of interactive element. So now I'm going to die cut a window in mine with just a square die and create a scene behind my curtains that is a shaker. So I needed to do that before I attached my curtain rods, and so I did that, and now I'm going to take some double stick tape, put it on the little flap here, the little tab. I am also going to use liquid glue just to make sure this really holds and doesn't pop open because it's folded over on itself. So I like to be extra safe because this is an interactive card. We don't want any malfunctions. So I'll do that on both sides, gluing those into place. Don't fold them down too tight or they won't glide on those tracks very well. Now you can see because I glued the tab on top of that mechanism, it helps me line up my curtain rods exactly with these mechanisms, and I don't have to guess how far in to put it. Now I am going to glue the silver ones on top of that. The reason why I did 2 layers was just to make it a little bit more sturdy to grab onto and pull at the ends there. And this is just some silver cardstock. It's not mirror, and I kind of like that. So there you can see how they move when you pull them. And then you're going to take your adhesive and attach these just like that. So it's going to go over the curtain rod and the mechanism almost all the way to the end. You just want to leave that decorative element at the end of the curtain rod showing, and then you put it flush with the top of the curtain rod. And then we have both of our curtains attached and covering our window like that. Okay, so now I'm going to attach the valance at the top. I have a piece of foam tape, and I put that above the curtain and then just stick that on. I'm also going to add a little windowsill here, just a 1/4 of an inch strip of paper, and I'm using the Snowmen Days stamp set from Fun Stamper's Journey to stamp out some snowmen so I can have a cute snowy scene outside my card. So I've stamped that once onto some white cardstock, and then I'm going to stamp it again onto some masking paper. I am a super fast fussy cutter, as you can see here, and will have my mask cut out in no time. And then I can adhere that right over my stamped image and do some ink blending for a little wintry sky using Cool Pool ink, which happens to be my favorite color from the Fun Stamper's Journey line, and these are available at the Spellbinders shop. I believe. If so, I will go ahead and link it below. Now I'm just going to use a liner pen to draw in a little snowy hill that they are standing on, and then we can remove that mask and do some coloring. I guess I decided to bring the sky farther down now that I had my hill drawn in there. All right, so after that, the mask comes off and you can see, I just love this part. It's magical, kind of like embossing. Like every time, it just makes me so happy. All right, so I'm just using some soft colors today. Cool grays for his hat, and then this YG11 for any green on the card. It's a really soft green. I don't know what it is, but this holiday season, I am really loving the softer colors, like pink in place of red, the softer greens, the kind of teal color, tan instead of brown. Like it just, I don't know, it feels like me this season. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. So I'm using my C0 to add some color to the snow, or shadowing to the snow, and finishing out my second little snowman. I think they're just a cute little pair, and anybody would love to have these snowmen in their yard. Do you guys do decorations for Christmas in your yard? Like, I know we do Christmas lights, but do you put up like the blow up things and the little, you know, decorative things? I do have a light up snowman, and he has like a checkered scarf, and on his hand there's a little bird sitting, and he has the holly on his hat. I really love him. So maybe that's why I like these images so much. So my Copic coloring is about done. You can see I didn't use like 2 shades of green. I just went back in a second time in certain areas to add the shadow in. And then I always like to finish out my stamped and colored images with a white gel pen to add some highlights. So I'm doing that. They're a little bit harder to see on camera just because they're light colors that it's going on top of, but I just feel like love is in the details, so you have to add it. All right, now I'm taking some white acrylic paint, thinned down with a touch of water, and splattering that over the top of the stamped image for a snowy look. I'm going to set that aside to dry and stamp out some of those little detail images from the same Snowmen Days stamp set. I have this holly and berries, and then some poinsettias. I'm using the same Copic friendly ink Memento black, and then pink poinsettias. I love pink poinsettias, and I am going to color those. But the funny thing is, like in my house, I don't have the soft colors. Like I have red and black and like vintage Santa. I don't have the pastel colors inside, but for this year, this is the main color I've been using on my cards. So I'm stamping out Merry Christmas onto a piece of pink cardstock with some clear pigment ink, and I'll go ahead and emboss that with some silver powder for just a fun look that goes really well with my curtain rods. And then I'll heat set that and melt it with my heat gun. And silver, like I said, the embossing powder is magical every time. It just is fascinating to see that melt, and I think that goes really well with the colors in this card. So now I'm going to glue down all the things. I'm going to add the holly to the outside of my curtains. I think it's fun to decorate up your curtains like you would decorate your house. Maybe you would hang a little banner on the valance of your curtains. That would be pretty cute. So I'll add the Merry Christmas across the center there. And that is the outside of the card. Pretty simple, but the surprise is in the inside. So we're going to go ahead and flip that over, add some double stick tape around the window, place a window sheet on top of that, and press it into place. Around this, I will add some foam strips, and then I can put my shaker elements right inside that little reservoir. All the ends of the foam tape are touching, so my shaker elements are not going to be able to escape. I did put some anti-static powder around that foam tape, so my little snowflakes, these are clay elements, don't stick to that. And then I have some super tiny microbeads that I've had for like, 47 years. And I just poured a little of those in there, and I'm spreading things out so I don't have a big bump in my window. I removed the back to my foam tape and then stuck down my image, and then we can open the curtains and see my snowy little scene outside and shake that around. I'm going to take those poinsettias and tape them or glue them down around the window for even more decoration, and I just love this scene. Those micro seed beads are, they don't even have a hole in the middle. They are so clear, it really looks icy there. I'm going to put this onto my card using foam squares, making sure to not put any foam over the top of that track so my curtains can still move. So there you can see what it looks like open. You can shake that around. And then when I close my curtains, I found it's easier to close them by holding the curtain itself so it doesn't catch on my poinsettias. It's just too cute to not have the poinsettias there. So now I'm taking another of the little snowmen from that same stamp set. I'm going to color him out, die cut him out, and add him to the inside of the card for something cute in there as well. I love adding a little something to the inside of my cards. I think a lot of it is because my husband always opens the card that I make when I show him to see if I put anything on the inside. So I just want to make sure there's something there when he looks, and he thinks it should be decorated on the inside as well. And it's a big blank canvas, so why not add something cute? So there's my curtains, and I love the way you have a surprise with this card when you open the window, and the possibilities of what you want to put behind the curtains are endless, especially because you can have it be a traditional curtain like this, or you can add that valance at the top that's more like a theater curtain. So tons of fun with this die set from Spellbinders. Also, the small die of the month is a window, and the stamp set of the month is some ballerinas that would go really well with this die set. So I'm going to make sure and link all of that for you in the description box below so you can find out more about the club kits that Spellbinders has to offer. And I just thank you for stopping by and for visiting me, for your comments, for liking and subscribing. I hope you have a happy holidays and happy stamping. Bye!